Good Friday morning. Finally, we're heading into the weekend. How are you? I am live at Mark Anthony's Gifts and Spa. We are in Kirkwood, Missouri. It's the mobile Monica version. We'll be back in the studio on Monday and Tuesday. Great show lined up, by the way. Dr. Charles Willie returns, and we're going to talk about diabetes. That affects so many people. Type 1, type 2, diabetic drugs. It'll run the gamut. It is Innovare Health Advocates and Medical Mondays. Ask the doctor. So get ready for your questions. If you have any from now before Monday, get them to me so I can send him a text and he'll be armed and ready for those. He's actually going to be on from 7 to 7:30 on Monday, and then 7:30 until, I don't know, probably beyond 8 o'clock, 8:15, Brock Wilson and Brittany Wilson. They are very well known in social media influencers. They own Force Performance Gym in Brentwood. It's not just a gym, it's a full community. We're going to talk about the darkness that Brock has gone through, tried to take his life on not just one occasion. He has been saved and he met this beautiful woman, Brittany. They dated. They had so much in common. They got married. She has a son. They opened up a gym and now they're pregnant. They've got their own little baby on the way. Isn't it amazing how life switches around? And just think how different that would have been and all the lives that would have been affected if he had taken his life. So he's got a lot to talk about. So does she. Brock and Brittany Wilson from 7:30 till probably about 8:15 on Monday. Tuesday, it's Halloween. We're going to talk about all things spooky. We're going to have the Stoned Apes in. They have a podcast they had me on within the last couple of months, and now I am inviting them on mine. So that'll be coming up for you. And of course, the Day of the Dead is on Wednesday. So we've got a fun, unique Wet Your Whistle Wednesday, little Day of the Dead version. Michelle will be back from Malta, and she'll tell us all about her trip, and we'll have a little fun. We'll talk about a Banshee Cabernet and a little Wagyu beef stick. That's what we're going to feature on Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. But today, it's about cultivating. What does that word mean alone? Cultivating any aspect of life. But today, cultivating positivity and cultivating emotional intelligence. What the heck does that mean? We'll discuss it all coming up on today's show. Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online envitahealthandwellness.com. All right, welcome back. Let's go. It's a Friday. I've got all the energy in the world, and I hope you do as well. If it's starting off, well, can we all make a choice to try to have it a little bit better than or meh, right? I'm not telling you to jump through the roof. I'm not trying to tell you that suddenly you're in a depressed mode and it's going to go to, I'm the most optimistic person in the world. No, but you can cultivate positivity. You can cultivate emotional intelligence. So as you're signing on with me this morning, I want it to be like a true workshop. We've done these in the past. If you're willing, or you can just sit there and read the comments or just sit back and listen, absorb, put your earbuds in if you don't want to wake up everybody else in the house, and just listen to the message, just like you do on Thursdays. Thursdays, you've got this show, and then right after it, you get kind of a daily dose of Monica if you are following along on our audio podcast platforms. Yesterday, the great interview with Angie Maui and Brian Newkirk, that launched. And of course, we talked about the life taken way too soon of Luke Maui, the young boy that was killed back in 2001, right outside of the St. Louis Zoo by a drunk driver. Hopefully you saw that interview. It was so emotional and so powerful and so uplifting of what she's been able to do and how Luke continues to give back. We dropped that on the audio podcast yesterday. I actually was listening to it and got emotional all over again, got chills all over again about the incredible spirit that both of them have, but especially Angie having to move on because she has other kids. I mean, she can't just give up because her son was killed, but you want to sometimes. So she has to cultivate positivity. What does the word, as we kick off this little workshop, feel today? What does the word cultivate mean, first and foremost? cultivate. I'll give you a little time for that while I say good morning. Kathleen Morris, hello to you. Hope you have a great weekend. Good morning to Marilyn. Looking forward to seeing you, I'm guessing, at the big barn party tomorrow. Kathy Holden Reed, happy Friday to you. Pamela, good morning. Laura, good morning. Leona, good morning to Tina. Tina is moderating my sweet sister-in-law. Rose, good morning. Excited about cooler weather. Okay, let's talk about a little news you can use. Giving you a little time to answer, what does cultivating mean? Cultivating, just that word before we get into cultivating positivity, cultivating emotional intelligence. News you can use, weather today. Don't get used to it. It's the last warm day probably for a while. You're going to have a mix of some clouds, might see a little sun. If you got up early, everybody was talking about it at class this morning, the most incredible moon. It looked so close to Earth. It was huge. And Jim said, oh, it needs to stick around for Halloween so the kids can see the spooky moon out for Halloween. Yeah, so pretty. And then all of a sudden we lost it. We were like, there it is, it's gone. It's going to be about 81 today. Warm. You might see some rain. Again, there's been a little chance of that all throughout the week. And then boom, it is going to change so drastically. And then that's what we're not going to be used to. Tomorrow, you're going to have high only in the 50s, dropping down into the 40s, and it stays there on Sunday. Might have some strong thunderstorms, and then you're going to only be in the high of the 40s. What a complete flip and a wake-up call. But it's fall after all. It's fall, y'all, after all. Just we couldn't get used to the warm weather. So it's just in time for Halloween. We're dropping into some cooler weather. So that's a little news you can use if you needed to know what the weather was all about. Also, St. Louis City SC playing Kansas, kicking things off on Sunday. So super excited for the playoffs to begin for them. I wish I had tickets to a game. Any of you that do, you're so lucky. What an incredible stadium that is. And yeah, they are the ones that are going to be able to host. And so the games will be here. Excited for anybody that's going to that. We do have a St. Louis City SC package, by the way, in our auction items. And I'll kind of sprinkle this in throughout the show. If you haven't bought your tickets yet, I think we're down to about 6 or 7, unless I can push the envelope a little bit and get more of you there. But for sure, we've got 68 tickets that have been sold. Woo, blowing my mind. For the November 4th event, an evening with the real Monica Adams. It's 6 to 8 p.m. on November 4th. And I do want to say right here, a special thanks to all of our sponsors for the evening with. Trattoria Marsala, providing the incredible food. I mean, you want the best ravioli in town? It's from Trattoria. You want some tenderloin beef sliders. You want chicken spadini. You want an antipasto platter. You want a little vegetable platter. All of that and more, meatballs as well, from Trattoria Marsala. Clayton Winehouse providing the wonderful wine tastings and bourbon tastings. And then Yuppie Puppies Forever Rescue. They get to benefit 100% of the proceeds from the live auction, the silent auction, going to help further their mission, rescuing those beautiful babies and getting them adopted out. And we're going to have a few of the fur babies at our event. So today, make the decision to purchase your ticket. Go to TheRealMonicaAdams.com, click on what's new, and then right there you'll see the evening. Purchase tickets for you, your girlfriends, your guy friends, or couple night out. You and your daughter or son. I've got a mother-daughter team that are coming to it. I love that. Actually, 2 of those, or we can say 3, because since my mom will be there as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Good morning, Rose. Excited about cooler weather. Bring it on. Tina, you're great. Missing Michelle as well. Yes, Michelle will be back and tell us all about Malta. Yes, I will be there. Bourbon slush and gooey butter cake. Oh, that's what she's not for the evening with the real Monica Adams. There's a big barn party that we've been invited to. And thank you, by the way, to our wonderful, dear friend who I now understand some of you are switching to her. Kathy Kilo Peterson, wonderful State Farm agent. I just had someone write me the other day and say, thank you so much for introducing me to her. I just flipped my car and my apartment, a condo, over to her. I love that. Let her give you a quote. And if it makes sense for you to flip and have someone really take care of you, then there you go. What do you have to lose? You get a $25 free gift card just for getting a free quote. kkilo.com, 636-561-6460. Between her and her staff, over 100 years of dedicated, true customer service. Okay, our topic for the day. Cultivating, the word alone. What does it mean to you? Cultivating. Then you add to it cultivating positivity, cultivating emotional intelligence. We hear a lot in the world right now about artificial intelligence. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't even want to talk about that today. I want to talk about EI. Example, emotional intelligence. Cultivating. I'm not going to say what I believe it is just yet. We'll see what you have to say. Good morning, Julie. Good morning, Dwayne from the North Georgia mountains. Both Beth Young, Rock Chalk. So glad you were on with Monica. I didn't see Beth. Where's Beth? Oh, there. Oh, okay, there we go. Where's Beth from? Kansas? Would that be Kansas? Let's see. Going to take a little road trip this morning, enjoy the warmth, and then get home to keep my dog calm during the possible storms. Yeah, so just be aware the little kids might be climbing in bed with you, and the dogs might be running in the closet this weekend. Dwayne, thank you so much. Gwen, who just found us during her back surgery, good morning. I think of cultivating as putting forth the effort to develop what you're working on. Ah, very good, Gwen. Cultivate, to acquire, to nurture something. Are some of you Googling it to see what it is, or are you trying to answer it organically? Dwayne, Linda, good morning, good morning. Hello. Yes, from the North Georgia mountains. Pretty here with all the fall colors. I bet you it is. Frederick Morgan. Hello, Dwayne. Frederick, that's a new name. Frederick, where are you watching us from? And who introduced you to our show? I love the fact that we are, of course, taking over St. Louis and Southern Illinois. But then we've got Florida. I've had San Diego. I've got Georgia. Let's see, somebody from Kansas City, or people, I should say, from Kansas City. What other? Somebody was in Walt Disney World and said they took us with them the other day. Somebody was in Maine. Oh, by the way, please let's give our hearts and thoughts and prayers out to Maine. Turned on Camo X this morning while we were driving in, just trying to stay in tune to the world, not too much negativity. But I heard about the mass shooting. They said 18 people were killed and 12 injured. And this was a mass that took place at a bowling alley and a restaurant. And it just really disheartened me. And that's what I'm saying. See, I didn't want to be a part of, that's all that came out of my mouth every morning was negative, negative, negative. It is, please pray. And what can we do? We've got to get rid of the depression. We've got to get rid of the manic, the anxiety, the fear, because that leads to these horrible things, these mass shootings in places that you think you should be able to go with your family, a bowling alley and a restaurant. We can't even go to church, can't even go to a movie theater without looking over our shoulders and thinking, is there going to be someone who's going to shoot this place up? And that's not really living. That's living in fear. And that is so devastating. So again, our thoughts and prayers as it continues to unfold, because there are still several businesses on lockdown as the shooter is on the loose, or was at least as of 5 o'clock this morning. So if you hadn't heard that, that was in the news. Frederick, again, where are you watching from? Lisa, I think of cultivating as the act of putting in an effort to grow something, whether that be a relationship, personal growth, a goal, etc. Everybody's answering just the first part of this. We're going to break it all down as we do in a workshop. And by the way, here's the other question I have to ask all of you. If we did this in person, would you come? If we built it, would you come? Evidently, you are to the big event next Saturday at Clayton Winehouse. But if I took my life coaching class on Thursday nights to you, instead of the way we've done it for the last 5 years, which has been through Zoom, and people pop in. I've had people in Hawaii. I've had people in California. Of course, people around here in Illinois, way out west, a couple hours away in Cape Girardeau. And they've all popped into a class that I have taught. And I opened it, by the way, to the general public, not just to my private transformation group. It is open to you if you want to be a part of it. There's my email address crawling there on the screen. info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. I did have somebody reach out to me the other day and asked if I was taking on new clients. And I said, yes, but it'll get to a point where I'm going to have to say wait list, because I know the balance and how important it is for me not to just work and exhaust myself, but to cultivate. For me, it means to do what I'm doing right here. Draw it to you, pull it to you, want more of it. You want more positivity? Cultivate positivity. So now I take that. If we were to cultivate positivity, how different would our life look from the way it looks right now? That's the next question I pose to you. So some of you are saying cultivating, kind of exactly how I feel. Pull, pull, pull. Cultivate, Leona says, to develop positive emotional feelings during my day life. Yes. Mamava hiker, to nourish and grow. Mamava, where are you watching from? Maryland, prayers, yes, for Maine. Good morning, Julie Purcell, and to everyone. Ron, good morning to you. Good to see you again. Yeah, so Frederick and Mamaba, let me know where you're watching from. So we'll go a little deeper here. We're going to cultivate positivity. We're going to cultivate, you can really, truly just fill that blank in. So I want to say, for me, cultivating, thinking about it. It's not just, I think I want it to happen, but what steps will I take in my life to make it happen? So when you cultivate something, I believe it's kind of like a baker or someone who cooks. We got to get all the ingredients together. We're going to put them together. We're going to mold it and we're going to make it into this beautiful dish that others around us can enjoy. It's not just for us. We don't keep it to ourselves. So if we cultivate something, we are focusing. That's how I look at it. Focusing, nourishing it, pulling it to us, and then pulling it to others. That's my belief. And I love what you've been saying so far. So what I ask now is to go a little deeper. So when I do my life coaching or I do any type of meditation, I do motivational speaking, I pull all these things together when I am talking to the crowd. And Lori was on our show the other day, and Lori said, I love to see Monica speak because you watch the people get aha moments. You see the nodding of the head. You can see that you're connecting with them. You see the tear roll down their face. You see the all out laughter. I love to move people through the emotions of life just like that. But don't we want to do that on a regular basis with everyone that is in our life that's blessed to be with us and we with them? Okay, so we nourish those relationships. So what would it look like if you took some steps slowly to change and cultivate everything you're saying you think cultivate stands for, cultivating positivity? What does that look like to change your life from the current state that it's in? And if you did that, the awareness of how different the life would start and then it would become, and it would affect you and all those around you that are blessed to call you friend, that are blessed to call you husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, whatever, fill in the blank, your role is. So if you cultivate positivity, what does that look like? Tell me next. Think about this. When's the last time you called your doctor at 2 o'clock in the morning and he actually answered? Well, at Innovair Health Advocates, their patients are special. Their doctors, nurse practitioners, their care team care deeply about your health, your family, your work, and even your pet. Their clinicians are accessible and they lead your care in and out of the hospital. In fact, Dr. Charles Willie offers his cell phone number to his patients to ensure they can intervene early in your illness. They can provide care above and beyond, offering lab, x-ray, echocardiogram, and other treatments in their office. Innovair Health Advocates with 5 locations on both sides of the river. Check them out, innovairhealth.com. So welcome back, and that is on Mondays, by the way. Mondays, Dr. Charles Willie joins us from Innovair Health Advocates, and he will be on Monday. If you're just tuning in, I mentioned that he is going to be talking about diabetes. So any of you that have diabetes or someone in your family does, you don't want to miss Monday's show because I want you to ask. I mean, that's an open forum for you to ask whatever you want of Dr. Charles Willie during our Medical Monday segment. Today's segment, though, we're talking about cultivating. And we're talking about cultivating positivity, but we're going to go deeper into something that I talked about in my class last night. So if you're in my class, you get a head start. You get a little deeper one-on-one interaction. We talked about emotional intelligence and what that looked like. And now we're going to talk about it today, but you don't get a chance to bounce back and forth with me live. So again, we talked about, do we do it on Zoom? Do we maybe once a quarter take it to our University Club Tower building and allow you to come to that class in person and really be effective? That's what I would love. Good morning, Mrs. Monica. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Moses. All of you that are brand new names to me, can you do me a favor and let me know where you're watching from? So I went into the break and said, what would life look like if you went a little bit deeper in cultivating, which a lot of you are talking about, to develop positive emotional feelings, blessings during your life. But I asked how different your life would look if you started to do just that. If you made the choice to bring more positive aspects to you and then to others, of course, right? Because you're taking care of you first. What does that look like? I'm going to give you some time to answer that, but I also want to go deeper into this. So we're at 7:20 in the morning. So let's talk about this. I mentioned the other day, and I told you I'd go a little bit deeper. This is kind of a part 2 to what we did the other day. And it is all about a choice, right? Men and women, so grateful for what we're doing here on a daily basis. Talking me the idea of choosing and choosing yourself first. Yet at the same time, you feel lost as to how to choose yourself first without the guilt. We talked about that part the other day. So today, I want to go a little deeper, not just for women, but for men as well, because some people are so conditioned to feel guilty. They do the people pleaser aspect, right? And so if they choose themselves, they feel like, oh, someone's going to think I'm an egomaniac. I'm the B word, as we mentioned the other day. But you are going to open yourself up to scrutiny and to things being thrown at you for others thinking that you're selfish. So what? As I told somebody last night in class, so what if that's how they feel? So what if they start casting those stones? Do you give them that kind of power? If you do, why? I mean, that's part I don't understand, especially if they're complete strangers and somebody's writing something to you on Facebook or Twitter or any aspect of social media and throwing a who do you think you are, putting yourself first. You're supposed to take care of everybody else. One of our guests whose husband went through pancreatic cancer diagnosis and he was in stage 4. She said, maybe you heard her, Kira Anderson was on our show. She talked about the amount of people on social media that went off on her for continuing to take care of herself, fitness wise, as well as just taking a mental health break. And I said, why would they? And she's like, well, I guess they expected me to be right by his side 24/7 every second of the day. And I said, no, you need a break. And the nurses are there. Somebody else takes that opportunity. She steps away, comes right back. What, 30, 60 minutes later? That's only going to make her be able to take care of him better. She also has to rest. That I want you to see yourself in that story. Who cares what social media said? And she didn't. She put up the armor. Good morning, Beth from Lawrence, Kansas. Kathy Kilo Peterson, longtime friend, introduced me to your show. Well, Beth, thank you so much for being a part of this. And I love all the new people. And I have to, of course, thank Kathy and everybody else who turns new people onto the show. Okay, so we're talking about a huge problem in our world, in our culture, in our society, in our group of friends. I will continue to support each and every one of you that make the choice, the cultivating choice, right? That's too much similarity. I support all of you that cultivate, that want to draw more, no matter your age, no matter your race, no matter your skin color, no matter men or women. Today, making the choice to take the best care of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and putting the whole thing together. Why? That is not being selfish. That is you understanding the importance of truly living. And at this point, I would say if you're not doing that, that you are missing out on what life should look like. So, cultivating, we're going to flip here to emotional intelligence. I still have the forum open. If you want to say what your life would look like if you brought in more positivity and how little by little things would change. Open it up. Start texting people. I always tell you to share and like and follow our live stream, which, by the way, we are on Facebook on both my business and my personal page. So that's about 26,000 people. And then we are on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, which just simply means to follow the channel so you get notifications when we're going on live and if we have special content. But then tell people while we're actually on, hey, Monica, excuse me. Hey, Monica Adams is on. Losing my voice. I want you to watch her because she is wanting to change the world. Give us the tricks in her bag, the tools that it takes to start really living, cultivating. We're talking about that. None of you have answered how different life would look if you cultivated positivity. Please put it in the comments. Text people, give them a call, say, hey, I think you keep forgetting that Monica, her show's on live at 7:00. Again, not everybody has to watch it live. Many people might watch it later in the day, and then just share those on your page so that you can start reaching the people in other states, other parts of the world as well. Michelle joined us from Malta yesterday. I mean, come on, it's a little island outside of Sicily. So cultivating emotional intelligence. Let's break it down, okay? EI, not AI. EI, the foundation to a happier and a healthier life. So let me give you a little example here. And I want you to start thinking of you, okay? When I'm saying this, think of your own life as you're hearing this. Good morning, Wayne. 19 years old. I am told I have the largest blood clot in medical history. I'm at college. I'm dating a great guy. I'm playing soccer. We're almost getting ready to play our first game. I'm loving life at Mizzou. I just transferred from my first year at Missouri Valley, where it wasn't really for me. It was in a small town. There was a lot of gossiping, a lot of negativity, a lot of people in other people's business. It was strange. But we look at every aspect of where we're taking to. If I didn't go to Missouri Valley, I wouldn't have met my best friend, Julie. And so I pulled that positivity out of it. But then I also owned my life at the age of 18, turn 19, decide I'm not going to go there for another semester, and I transfer to MIZ, boom, ZOU. I love Mizzou still to this day. The most pivotal point of my life is right here, what I'm getting ready to tell you. I am there for what, 4 weeks? And then suddenly I get diagnosed with the largest blood clot in medical history. I'm told on the fourth day I'm in intensive care back in St. Louis. I'm not told. My parents are told Monica's going to die today. You got to be ready for it. My brother and sister-in-law, I think, were on vacation. I think they had to come back from vacation, if I'm correct. Tina, remind me. I believe, were you in Germany? Somewhere, but they had to come back because my brother gets the phone call that you've got to get back. Like, they're saying horrible things about your sister. Like, she might not continue to live. And I truly believe that at that point, it becomes a choice. I could have laid there in that bed, dealt with how horrible I was feeling, knowing that it's the worst I've ever been through in my life. And instead, I had this ridiculously positive attitude because I guess for me, I've always believed it'll all work out. I've always been that way. And I don't know how to get you all there without just spreading this. And that whatever attaches to you, you take it and you run with it and you cultivate it. For me, it was a choice right then and there. 19 years old. You can't play soccer anymore. In fact, we're not even going to let you work out because your blood's so thin coming out of the hospital. Because again, I came out, was blessed, saved. And I just, my mind was going to go stir crazy. They even told my parents, you've got to keep her busy in her mind. And back then, probably, if they would have said it, in her soul and in her spirit, because she's going to become so depressed. I never became depressed, but it was just the questioning of, you want to say, why me? Instead, I thought, okay, what next? That's how I looked at it. Okay, what next? Where are we going to go with this? So I can't go back to Mizzou. I've got to be monitored for 2 years here in town. And I'm going to take all the electives I possibly can to transfer back and go into medicine. I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. I love medicine so much. I mean, still, everything I learned made me the trainer that I am from the science side. The trainer that I really am is right here from the caring side, the nurturing side of really wanting to draw to you what you so deserve because you're working hard at it. But I made a choice, did I not, everybody? Right then and there in the hospital in intensive care, I had to make a choice. I'm either going to have a pity party for one, I'm going to feel sorry for myself, or I'm going to rise up and I'm going to thrive. And I'm going to turn this life into something beautiful. I'm not going to say, why me? Why didn't I get a chance to become a doctor? No, instead, I just started opening my mind, finding some clarity, and looking for the messages. So God, I'm very faith-based. God said, okay, my darling, I'm going to switch you around and I'm going to put you over here now. And this is where, if you are willing, you will let me guide you. And he did. And he nudged me ever so softly over here to broadcasting. I was never going into broadcasting. I took it as an elective because I was enamored with Karen Foss and how classy that woman was, watching KSDK growing up and what a powerhouse they were back then. An incredible station, right? Mike Bush, incredible in sports. Watch Dan Gray, Rick Edlin, Dick Ford. I mean, some of the greatest news people we've ever had in St. Louis. Sure, I was intrigued by what they delivered. And when you were in sixth, seventh grade, they actually gave us homework of something we had to watch on the news and then turn it around, which is where I think it really came from. Otherwise, I don't even know if I would have watched at that time. And so I had an extra elective to take and I took it. I made a choice to take that. I was intrigued by it. I didn't just go through the motions and say, it's just another elective. I'll pass this, hoping to pass it, right? Well, somehow I was starting to thrive. The professor saw it. Again, it's the people who are put into our lives, teachers, people who nudge you, people who support you, people who lift you up, and hopefully you do the same to them. So what happened was all of the patterns that were happening in my life to guide me on this path. That's what you need to open up your mind for. Okay. So when you say, I want to cultivate more positivity for me and my family, or you say, my husband's really negative, but I'm more of a positive force. You cannot force him, but you can try to draw more to you hopefully in turn he or she will pick up on it. Does that make sense to you? You cannot force someone to be something at the given time of who you want them to be. You can only spread the kindness, right? Why do we always say be kind? You spread it, and we hope we can eradicate the hate that we see in the world. People say, Monica, you're taking on one hell of a goal trying to change the world. And I said, well, someone's got to. We have to have a belief system. You have to believe that we can be a better nation. We can be better human beings. We can be kinder souls to each other. I believe that. I'm not telling you that I'm going to snap my fingers and suddenly no one's going to kill anybody anymore. Suddenly no child's going to be abused. No men and women are going to go through rape. All these horrible things that we hear about in our world that are going on. I am not Pollyanna and thinking that I turn my head and if I don't hear about it, if I don't watch it, I'm going to put my head in the sand and it's not happening. It's not what I'm saying. That is not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying do not just listen to it happening and then move on with your life. That's what's wrong, honestly, folks, is nothing's being done about it. And if you want to go to the government side, we put people in office that are harming us instead of doing good. So think about that when you go to the polls. What is that person really going to do for our world? I've had people say, Monica, you should go into politics. Hell to the no. I have no desire. That is the most negative field. But give me a platform, take me to a stage, let me preach. And let me try to affect you where I just got to chill right now. Let me move you to emotion. Let me make you think. That's all I really want to do is make you think a little deeper. And then what happens? What do you do with it? Okay. Let me go back here before I continue on. We're talking about, yes. So Tina said they were in Germany. I thought so. And you had to cut your vacation short, did you not? Because we didn't know what was going to happen. I think staying positive is the key to life, Richard says. And Richard knows his choice, right? We talked about special needs. We've talked about disabilities. Richard's told you before, being in a wheelchair. Well, does he say, why me? I'm in a wheelchair and life's given up on me, so I give up? Hell no. Look at this man. Always finding the good in something instead of the bad. That's Richard Melching Sr. Take a cue card from him. Pamela. Karen was great and very kind. I met her at an event. Karen. What did I miss? I missed something. Tina says, hashtag your choices. Yes. Just read this on my Bible app this morning. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others, right? When I feel good, I help others more. I reach out to friends and those I don't know really good. I plant seeds, spread positivity, one person at a time. We're here to change the world one person at a time. Your message is spot on. But I want you to see yourself though. You're all capable of this. I just happen to have been in television and radio for 30 years, so I have a platform and all of you follow because you are seeking it out. You understand that, right? I am putting the message out there. And why do you return? Why do you set your alarm? Or why do you look at your watch or your phone and say, it's 7:00, Monica's on? It's kind of like Oprah. It's become appointment viewing. And boy, do I feel blessed. And I thank you so very much for taking the time because it's really what it is. You could be listening and watching anything at this point, but thousands upon thousands have been watching since March 1st. We reached 1 million, one point with our entire reach. What does that look like? That means putting out pictures, putting out videos, sprinkling in reels, sprinkling in stories, doing the actual show. It is all of it together. And our team is cultivating what? A following. I want you to follow me to a better life. Not for me, for you, and for all of us together. And that's what it looks like when you do that. I'm going to try to come back to that. What was Karen? I didn't get that one. What did I miss? Is there a Karen on here? Darn it. Somebody else help me with that one. I don't know. It moves so fast. Anyway, again, cultivating. This time we're talking about emotional intelligence. So let's go deeper with this. So as I just said, with the blood clot, I had a choice to make. I'm 19 years old. I'm told I can't play soccer anymore. And I was at the absolute top of my sports career. And, what was I going to do with it though? So then all of a sudden you go, well, it's not really taken away. It's now time to focus on something else. I didn't choose to do the pity me, I can't play soccer anymore. I did probably break the rules with the doctor a bit and started working out. I just had to. I was going to go stir crazy. I mean, they literally told me if I walked down the street and got hit by a rock the wrong way, I could bleed to death because my blood was so thin at the point. And so 19 to 21, I was, again, monitored in St. Louis and on Coumadin. I didn't want to be on it. So I was very stubborn and very driven and called at 9:01 every morning asking the doctor, can I get off of the Coumadin? Nope. Click. 2 straight years. He's like, you were so determined. But you know what? When you want something bad enough, it's what you do. I just didn't want to be in it on it. It's probably the reason why I don't like medicine, taking medicine, being forced to take medicine today. I know it was doing good for my body. And then, you're told to take a blood thinner because you have a clotting disorder, all those things. I could have done the whole pity me, why me? I wanted to go into medicine. I'm not playing soccer anymore. I had to leave Mizzou. I wanted to stay there. No, instead it was guide me, guide me, guide me. Look for it. Oh, Karen Foss. Okay, thank you, Joy. Yes, sorry. We're talking about so many things I missed it. Um, uh, okay, so that's a spam. But Tina, if you can get rid of Darwin, I'd greatly appreciate it. And that, yep, that's right above her YouTube link. Richard, the most positive people in the world I've met are disabled. It's truly amazing. You would think it would be just the opposite. The people who have the most to complain about are actually the most grateful. Woo, that's a good one, Richard. You know what? I used to say the same thing about those with Down syndrome. They are the happiest people in the world. You see it as, oh, poor them. They don't see it that way. They're thrilled. They don't know that they have a special need. They just know that they're happy and that they love. I swear, the most loving people in the world. Richard, you just hit one with me, right? I got chills up and down. Barb Inglesby. I've been called, quote, neutral Barbie in my family because I try for everyone to get along, not fight and be positive, and or at least be civil with each other. Who cares what they want to call you? They can label you whatever you want, but you're the positive one and you're the one that's changing lives for the better. Good morning. Happy Friday to you, Kathy. Glass half full. Good hashtag, Tina. Absolutely. Emotional intelligence and positivity, cultivating it. Okay. So when I had that, and whatever gets thrown your way, because again, that was a boulder for me, was it not? Everything else in life has been a pebble. The car accident, though, that I was in, that was another little boulder, not a huge boulder. The blood clot for sure is the biggest Mount Everest boulder. And I did something positive with it. Started to say, okay, all right, you want to guide me to broadcasting? Let's do it. Let's start telling the stories of human spirit. Let's tell the stories of uplifting. Let's tell your story because you all have a story to tell. And that's why we have different people in the chair. Mondays, Tuesdays, in the blue chair, hashtag in the blue chair. Who are we going to have? Who's going to change your life? What message are you going to allow yourself to let it attach to you? And then just take that tool and run with it. So taking care of my emotional intelligence at that very given point at 19 years old through all these 30 years later was an important thing. One of the ways of taking care of emotional intelligence, along with learning how to manage stress, get better sleep. That was always a rough thing over the last 30 years with getting up at 1:30 in the morning. How many times do I say slow down though? I just had 3 clients here that we personal trained this morning. I made them do balance work. Do you think if you're rushing through and you're not focusing that you're going to be able to hold your balance, pull your leg up in the air and do another exercise if you're all over the place? No. And I can tell when they start to talk about stories and they start to not focus that they're all over the place. And I'll say, shh, focus. Pull the knee up higher, draw the navel in more, attach it to the spine, pull the chest up, pull those shoulders back, relax the neck, drop the shoulders down. Do all of that and scan the body. Now do the movement. See, it's preparation before you ever get what you want and deserve. Think about that. Savor it. Slow down. Be in the moment. Instead of rush through every moment, trying to get to the next aspect of life, and you have missed everything in your path up to that point. Understand that? Emotional intelligence is like the secret sauce of life. I got this from Tony Horton. He said it's about understanding and managing your emotions while being in tune with the emotions of others. Boom. If you journal, get a pen and paper right now and write this down. Emotional intelligence is like the secret sauce of life. It's the missing ingredient in whatever you're making. If you forget one little dash of this, does it completely change your recipe? You bet it does. This tastes different than last time, your husband says. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot to put XYZ into the recipe. And yep, let's toss this out. Doesn't taste good. Well, it's the secret sauce of life when emotional intelligence is spot on. It's about understanding and then managing your emotions while being in tune. That's the most important part. While being in tune with the emotions of others. Not so egocentric mind that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being focused and taking care of your mental, physical, spiritual health. Not, I don't care about anybody else in the world. That is not ever what I say. What I say is take care of you and watch how you're able to better take care of those around you. It's not just about one aspect of the triangle. I'm not saying look in the mirror and say, oh gosh, I look great. I want to look great aesthetically. There's my six pack. Oh, my shoulders look better. My biceps look better. The physicality of it all. No, that's just one part, a third of all of it. You got to take care of the meditation, the journaling, writing it down, seeing it happen. Pull it out of just a fleeting thought. Make it happen in the life. That's the mental side. Spiritual side, emotions, nourish them, mold them, make the recipe beautiful, make it the best, make it sing like never before. All of it goes together. It's not just about having one aspect, it's about having a killer heart and mind and body. So here's why cultivating emotional intelligence is good for your well-being. Do me a favor, just like you be in front of me, and these are the things we want to know. If we would do this in person, would you come to it? It's what I want to know. So write this down. Stronger relationships, stress reduction, self-awareness, empathy, and resilience. Those are the topics where we go when we return.
It's the icing on the cake.
The final brush stroke.
The finishing touches make all the difference in your home, too.
Have fun and get started at carolhouse.com/room planner.
With thousands of accessories in our 3.5-acre showrooms.
Get your picture perfect room and the lowest prices in the country at Carol House.
Because you like nice things.
You know, of course, it's great to get outside and enjoy the warm weather, but when it's time to relax indoors, be sure your home stays cool with equipment and service from my friends at Aldon. 24-hour emergency service available. At Aldon, it's their commitment to continue providing above and beyond HVAC service for all of their customers. They truly care about the air you breathe. Call them today at 314-567-5585 or on the web, aldon.com. That's al-don.com, 314-567-5585. All right, welcome back again. It is the Mobile Monica version of the Real Monica Adams show. We've got incredible sponsors, and our title sponsor, I thank, who's right down the street at 333 South Kirkwood Road. Thank you to Invita Health and Wellness, and they're doing so many great things on, in, out of the body, all the aspects. So for all of you, cultivating positivity. Okay, you got a negative person in your life right now. So if you allow them to take over your life and you allow them to have power over you, their husband, wife, kids, whoever, boss, then yes, then you have literally cultivated that you are pulling and allowing them to have the cultivating aspect, not you. You're trying to draw something to yourself, but you have literally relinquished power. That's where I wanted to go with this. So are you right now, does this look like your life? Your mother's around, your father's around, okay? You're a younger child, you're living at home with them. Your husband, your wife, they are not as positive as you. And you say, well, that's the problem. They pull me into their negativity. No, they don't. They don't have that kind of power. Let the rope go. You know, look at yourself as one side and the other side of a rope pull, right? We all did it when we were kids. The flag's here, pull it to your side. No, they pull it to their side. This one's got a bigger tug. This one's pulling that way. You've got to keep doing this. Stay strong and steady. Watch how it happens. Let them use all their power on one big pull. You've got a steady, great foundation. You wait for them to, they're going to, let's do this. They're going to use everything they have to do this big pull. Guess what? They're off balance. And then suddenly when they're off balance, you are slow and control and focus. And suddenly the flag comes to your side and you do the last little boom and you've steadied yourself. That's how it looks. By the way, let me show you this because I'm still trying to get her on my show because I love her. Two wolves. My new sweatshirt came in. Do you know what that is? Do you know what this is? Do you know what two wolves is? It's something incredible that I've been involved with for the last 4 years. It's Pink, or Alicia Moore. Alicia Moore is her real name. Pink, the singer, she is also a winemaker. And I don't mean she just puts her name behind wine. She is truly a winemaker. The woman is so freaking awesome. I love her to this day. She's just such a rebel and says whatever she wants and draws to her what she wants. Do you think she doesn't have hard times? Oh, yeah. They've gone through a lot of hard times. But that woman is truly a rock star on every level of that word. So this is her wine, by the way. You can put yourself on the list. They've got an allocation list that they I actually just got the fall release, or just ordered the fall release. I think it's a couple times a year. They did it 3 times a year one time. Get on the wait list, because they'll open it up, and then maybe you could be on it as well and be lucky to have some of the most incredible wine. I really, truly, even though Quintessa was my favorite for the longest time, I'm going to have to put Quintessa and Two Wolves right up there with each other. Woo, it's good. And I just love her background, love everything about her. Can we get rid of Darwin, please? Whoever can do that, go in and get rid of Darwin. I'm seeing Darwin, and I know that's a bot. I'm not going to read that person's things. You have helped so many people with your life coaching. Thank you, Tina. Yeah, so we're talking about your message today is giving me goosebumps. Oh, I love it. Yay. I live vicariously through you. God put you in our way. I had a blood clot too. Whoa, real eye opener about life, right? But you know what? Gosh, Rose, you just took me in another direction with that. But did you give up on life? Do you live your life thinking it's going to happen again? It could, by the way. I have a clotting disorder. So do a lot of you, by the way. Why don't you, next time you have blood work done, ask them to check you for factor 5 or Leiden factor 5, Leiden factor V. Have them check you for that. You might have an aha moment of how many of you have the same disorder that I have that makes you more susceptible to clotting. That means if you smoke, which I can't stand, I'm not going to bash you for doing that, but please, it's never going to serve you. It's not going to do you any good. There's so many things that can happen with that. But if you have a clotting disorder, you are a ticking time bomb if you smoke. And if you don't know that you have it and then suddenly you do, please stop immediately. You're not even really supposed to be around people very much that smoke. So I try to distance myself from smoky places or people who do. You would not want to ever be on hormone replacement therapy, which I don't really know why people would anyway. I think that's dangerous. It has a lot of links to cancer. You can say what you want. There's medical people that will say, no, it's fine. Okay, well, fine. But I wouldn't do that. You have to watch when you're traveling. You are constantly pumping those feet while you're driving. You're up in a plane because of deep vein thrombosis. Everybody is a possibility when you're flying, but even more so if you have this disorder. And then if you get pregnant, you would have to give yourself a shot. And I was so willing to do so when I thought I was going to be blessed with a baby. I had no problem to do that, to bring a miracle into this world. No, not at all. But there's many things you would need to stay away from if you had that disorder. And I do. But when I was diagnosed with that blood clot at 19, I didn't make a choice to say, I'm going to live in fear that it's going to happen again. I'm going to stop living. I'm never going to do this or that or X or Y or Z. No, I'm actually going to live even more powerful than I've ever lived in my life. And I've done that. And I've said this a lot. And again, I'll knock on wood here because I don't want to go. But if I were to, today, tomorrow, if my life was taken, I would hope that you would all come to I'm not going to have an open casket kind of a funeral. That doesn't make any sense. And I don't want you crying. I want you to dance. I want you to have good wine. I want you to do a little swing dancing, a little jitterbug, a little salsa. You know, I love Latin dancing. I want you to have some good wine or whatever your choice is. And I want you to cheer my life. I want you to say, God, she changed my life. I started watching her show. I watched her on TV. I listened to her on radio. If I finished this book, I read her book. Not if, when I finished the book, I read her book. And oh my God, she changed the world. That's it. That's what I want. Will you leave this earth and people say those type of things about you? They can if you make a choice emotionally, physically, mentally, to be the version that you deserve. That's what I'm asking. And Rose, I'm so glad that you're getting goosebumps today. I don't want to miss any of you. Let's see. Okay. Terry, I love when Pink said, I'm going to ride until my wheels fall off. She was talking about how others have told her to slow down and pause. She says, I'm not ready to slow down in my career, and love that message. Yeah, and by the way, because I'm talking about Toni Horton today, she gives so much credit to her physique to P90X. She really does. I love that. And what a great program. But, speaking of Toni was diagnosed with Ramsay-Hunt syndrome back in 2017. Thought he had paralysis, kind of like Bell's palsy aspect of some of the things that he was going through. But it just wiped him out. And he said when he got sick, he had no choice but to take a good hard look at his life and the areas where he was lacking taking care of himself. His whole life changed. Can he do the things he did with P90X? I'll tell you what, the guy's pretty amazing in his mid 60s now. Still has the most incredible mindset, social, spiritual, physique, everything. But it's a choice. He didn't give up on himself. He didn't give up on life when life felt like it was giving up on him. Beth said, I have a clotting disorder. They watch my blood test closely, luckily discovered and so managed through diet and work with a specialist in California. Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I see that Darwin still on here, so hopefully that person gets off. Thank you for the motivation every day. You're welcome. Yes, I will be there if I am still moving and breathing. And yes, I agree. No open casket and no sadness, just happiness and celebrating us. I definitely want an open casket. Oh, you do? I definitely want an open casket, plenty of wine and booze. I told my wife I want to make sure my teeth are showing with a smile on my face. I know that sounds morbid, but I want to be celebrated with a smile on my face. Well, see, I'll have a smile in all the videos that I'll do for all of you. And moving forward, I hope to actually provide some videos that have never been seen before that start to be dropped, and I'll ask for that to be carried out. But I don't want the morbid aspect of an open casket because it doesn't look like that person. And one of the biggest things is it shows in the smile in the eyes, but that would be a forced smile for me. The eyes are the windows to the soul. We've all heard that. That truly, that's the one thing, by the way, that never changes. When you see someone who has gone up and down in weight and you say, is that them? I always say, look at their eyes. That never changes. It could be a heavier face or a sunken in face, but the eyes never change. The eyes are the windows, and the eyes tell you so much. Wish I could go tomorrow. Hope you have another one. I love auctions. I'm a big hockey fan. I'm bummed I can't go. Please schedule another one. Rose, it's not tomorrow, it's next week, November the 4th at Clayton Wine House from 6 to 8 p.m. The food, the wine, the bourbon, the live auction, the silent auction, the motivation. What I do with you every morning, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in. So true. No open casket, Kathy says. But you know what? Everybody makes that decision. Okay, so I ran through a few things here for you. Stress reduction. Emotional intelligence helps you manage stress by what? Recognizing and learning how to understand your own emotions. Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond thoughtfully, reducing the impact of stress on your physical and mental health. It's like doing yoga for your brain. That's the stress reduction. I told you self-awareness, understanding your own emotions, allowing you to make better decisions, achieve your goals that are attainable, maintain a positive self-image. That's huge. And empathy. How many of you say you're an empath? It's the ability to understand and then share the feelings of others. It's not just about knowing your own emotions. It's about being there for the people you care about, supporting them through thick and thin, and knowing when at the very given time you say, is it right here? Yes, now it's time to offer your feedback. Or just stay quiet and listen. Resilience. Building emotional intelligence helps you bounce back from the incredible setbacks that happen in life. Think about what Tony Horton went through, what I went through, what you went through. Cancer diagnosis, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia, you name it. When you get the diagnosis, how do you bounce back from setbacks with greater strength? Life will throw you curveball after curveball after curveball, but with emotional intelligence, you become the MVP of your game, no matter what happens. So, how do you cultivate emotional intelligence? Well, it's a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. Meditate, journal, reflect on your feelings, get better rest, drink more water. Look at this, Big Daddy. I got this from the Velocity conference I spoke at. Eat more vegetables, get rid of processed food, lean in, get curious about why you feel the way you do. Why do you think the way you do? Remember, it's not about perfection. And that book, by the way, is Perfectly Imperfect that I'll be interviewing somebody on. It's about progress, right? You're not going to get to the end of the line of a I don't know, marathon, triathlon. You're not going to get there without going through the journey. The blood, sweat, and tears. It's the journey that you all go through, right? That's how we cultivate the emotional intelligence aspect. I hope these things have helped you today. I hope you understand that you can draw more of what you want to your life. You have to want it, though. You have to work on it. Do not think it's just going to come easy to you. And anything that does come easy, I don't know, it's not really worth it. For me, the greatest feeling in life is the success that you built on your own. Hi, it's Monica Adams. Thank you so much for following along with The Real Monica Adams Show since we launched back in March. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that I could do with you, your business, your corporation. Did you know that I'm a motivational speaker all around the world, as well as an MC and an auctioneer? So if you have an event, maybe a nonprofit organization, and you want to book me, just shoot me an email, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Personal training, life coaching, and styling as well. Info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online envitahealthandwellness.com. Well, welcome back again. I hope this is a great way to not only kick off your Friday, but to carry you forward into the weekend so that your weekend's even better. Maybe this is it. Maybe it's literally the wake-up call that you needed to finally take back and own your life. I hope so. Cultivating positivity, cultivating emotional intelligence, drawing more of what you want to your life. So again, we are almost at the end of this incredible book. And I had somebody on my life coaching class last night. Her name is Joy. And she's like, Monica, I had to go back and listen to what you said about the blueprint for value over and over again, because I swear you were talking to me. Well, that's it. Each and every one of you, I'm talking to you. I'm trying to give you a wake-up call. And yesterday was number 43 of the 52 habits to discover and strengthen your personal worth. And it all had to do with self-respect. So we're on number 44. This is a big one. Forgive yourself. It's okay to forgive yourself. What have we been talking about this entire hour? It's okay to put yourself first. Self-forgiveness sounds simple, but it's one of the most challenging things for so many people that I have talked to do. It becomes incredibly difficult, you say, when your mistakes are directly linked to your personal worth account. It can be tempting to deny a mistake, run from it, avoid it, use it to justify self-punishment, or define yourself by it. However, none of these options are healthy and none of them will lead to growth. What happens after the mistake is almost more important than the mistake itself. Like everyone else, you will make mistakes. You're imperfect. When you make mistakes, seek to understand what happened instead of punishing yourself. Forgive yourself. Stop the drain on your personal worth account. The takeaway, after you make a mistake, cultivate, choose self-forgiveness. Recognize that you are not the mistake. Be compassionate towards yourself and grow. Oh, more self-love, less self-hate. Look in the mirror and talk about how great you are. It is not egotistical. It's the way you get to a healthier aspect of life. I hope you feel the same way that I do, that today was very powerful. Rose said, great show. Thank you so much. Better than you telling us how traffic is. I know, right? I didn't want to do that all those years, but it led me to you and it led you to me. That's where the following built. So I still feel blessed for it. Although you were good, this is worth so much more. Thank you. I feel the same. Joy, there's big hugs for you. Love your show. Kathy, then don't keep it to yourself, everybody. Do not say, this is my show and I'm not going to tell anybody else about it. It's not going to go away if you tell the world. In fact, it's just going to build more and more. And we're going to have more and more of you on as guests and maybe sponsors. Anybody else want to be a part of this with your business? It can be the smallest or a large splash in the ocean. You want to be a big part of this show? You want us to come and actually do a show from your business? That can be done, by the way. You've seen some of the incredible spotlights we've done. Casa Don Alfonso. We did a really beautiful one on Trattoria Marsala. Hopefully you just saw that. And Randy's Rescue Ranch is coming up. We sat down with Randy Grimm, and that should be airing hopefully within the next week or two. What will be coming up next week is this wonderful woman, the author of the book Fearless, Rebecca Minkoff. She hopefully will be in St. Louis, if not maybe having to Skype in because of everything that's going on in the world with Israel, Hamas, Palestine, Palestinians. So maybe she'd have to Skype in, but she is going to be part of the Jewish Book Festival. And so is Martin Fletcher. Martin Fletcher, war correspondent. He right now is corresponding for NBC. Teachers, the ones I can't forget. Martin Fletcher. Both of them will be on the show next week before their appearances at the Jewish Book Festival. Mary Enderly, who lost her husband to stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He was also a wonderful U.S. Marine. Boy, the story that they've gone through, and her son as well. So Brian, Jacob, and Mary, we will have them on within the next few weeks. Brock and Brittany will be joining us on Monday, along with the Ask the Doctor Medical Monday segment with Innovare Healthcare Advocates. On the 8th, I will have Loretta on. I met this beautiful, wonderful woman at the Caregiver Conference in Springfield, Illinois, and she wrote the book Being My Mom's Mom, A Journey Through Dementia from a Daughter's Perspective. We talked about dementia and Alzheimer's, several months ago, but not from a person who has dealt with it directly for years, dealing with someone not recognizing you. What a heartbreaking thing that is. Some really beautiful things coming up. But what about you? Should I be featuring you, your business? Do you have a story to tell? Someone in your life have a story to tell? If you would like to reach out to me, I'm going to end the show right here to be a sponsor or to tell me about a topic you'd like for us to discuss. There's my email address, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Thank you all so very much. Whatever it is that you're going out to do this weekend, I'm going to spend some time with my husband today. Isn't that a novel thing? I worked on something I've never done in my life, and that was to put a brochure together so that you all had a brochure when you're coming to the event next Saturday. Tickets are so very limited right now. I don't want you to wait one more day. Call, text, show up, tell someone, hey, Monica's been talking about this. I want to buy a ticket. Go to TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Click on what's new. Don't wait anymore. Purchase the ticket, one of the final tickets that's available to you. Come out, have a good time, and I bet you we won't end at 8 o'clock. I bet you we'll take it from there and pick another location because we will be so spruced up in our energy that we won't want it to end. And that we'll take it beyond that. But we definitely are going to have some incredible food, and we're going to have some nice wine and some bourbon. We're going to have an incredible time raising money for a wonderful animal rescue. And we're just going to be so filled with joy after the motivational speaking. So it's a great event. I don't want you to miss it. And I promise you, I will not make it a one and only thing. Joy and everybody else. Yes, you have a beautiful weekend as well. Remember, folks, everything I say every single day, and I mean it. You say things over and over and over again and suddenly attaches to somebody, and then they're like, I got it. So one more time, go out and be anything you want to be in this world. But before you're anything, please, please be kind. God bless you all. Have a beautiful weekend. I'll see you on Monday.